Right? Senator Fitzhenley.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I do not make it a matter of course to personalize debates or my contributions to the Senate. However, Senator Lambert Brown attempted to attribute paternity to the Cybercrimes Act to one Philip Fiani Paulwell. I say to Senator Brown that what we consider Salutria scandal, the Trafigura scandal, the bad gas scandal, the net serve scandal, there are enough matters to give paternity to Mr. Paulwell, where the Cybercrimes Act is not one of them. It is a matter of fact that the Cybercrimes Act was first passed on March 17, 2010, and amended in October of 2015 under the administration of one Oret Bruce Golding. So there are enough matters to give credit to Philip Paulwell for, but paternity for the Cybercrimes Act is not one of them. That being clarified, sir, technology well, the Golding who should take paternity for amendment of the Cybercrimes Act or introduction of the Act is not the former UK national. It is one Oret Bruce Golding. Technology can be used for good, sir, for excellent use. But we can't escape the fact that deviance is a feature of any society. And therefore, we are always in danger of inventions, technology, being used to exact harm on society. Therefore, it is good if our laws are fit for purpose and aligned with contemporary development. It is in that context that I wish to indicate my strong support for the Cybercrimes Amendment Act 2026. I note that Clause 2 seeks to amend Section 2 of the Principal Act. It really, in fact, seeks to modernize the interpretation section by amending the definition of key to contemplate whether electronic or digital. This is an important amendment when the concept of modern authentication is contemplated. The third clause of the bill speaks to aspects of deviance in society, where from time to time individuals use electronic devices to advance their perverse agenda. And so doing, often our minors are affected adversely. Therefore, it is good that the third clause of the bill proposes to decisively make stronger protection for minors by amending the penalty framework in a manner where, should an offense be committed against a child or an individual under the age of 18, the court may impose imprisonment for a term of up to 20 years. That's a step in the right direction and an indicator of the administration's strong commitment to protecting society's most vulnerable. From time to time, people share images which may be compromising. The Senate leader alluded to it earlier. And I believe Clause 5 is another example of the law being amended to make it fit for purpose, because this clause expands use of the term send to another person with a much wider and more suitable term, publish, and it creates the offense of publishing an intimate image without consent. During debate in the lower house, I heard concern about whether the act speaks to artificial intelligence. And because the term is not alluded to in the specific form in the act, there was conjecture about whether it treats with the development. The short answer, sir, is yes, because clause 5 defines intimate image to include content that is captured, generated, or created, which is, again, neutral language, but it speaks activities which may include the criminal use of artificial intelligence. This bill is fit for purpose. I cite clause 6 as well as another compelling factor why this bill is to be supported. It seeks to put a stop to activities and processes which are likely to be embarked upon by those who prey upon monies which are not theirs, fleece financial institutions, and pilfer the monies of the ordinary Jamaican. In an era where law enforcement and financial institutions have indicated that there appears to be a spike in impersonation, payment diversion, account takeovers, SIM swap style tactics, the amendment to clause 5, which outlaws processes which criminals may engage in furtherance of this crime, is very important and again highlights the solid thinking behind this piece of draft legislation. In summary, these amendments are worthy of strong support because they are not superficial. They focus on protecting all of society, including Jamaicans from all walks of life, small businesses, big businesses, families, and society's most vulnerable, including minors and our senior citizens. I'm encouraged, sir, that the minister has indicated that his ministry intends to increase public education on the Cybercrimes Act. This is important because Jamaicans whose trust have been betrayed in a criminal manner or who have been preyed upon by people unknown to them, who have abused the cyberspace, must know that the administration has put in place fit-for-purpose legislation to get them justice. I wish to commend the Technology Minister, Dr. the Honorable Andrew Wheatley, who has a deep grasp of the issues which his portfolio entails, and I genuinely believe is the right man in the right place to protect Jamaicans from the bad intentions of those who use the cyberspace and emerging technology to advance an endeavor which may be best described as characterized by malintent or a desire to do harm. Before I close, sir, I wish to say a word of caution to criminals, including a few political bloggers who use the cyberspace to tell damaging lies. And I wish to encourage people adversely impacted by the blatant, I wish to encourage people adversely impacted by the blatant and vicious lies to use the Cybercrimes Act to hold perpetrators accountable. Because though I believe there is space for some more direct language in fine-tuning the law, there is indeed recourse in the Act in its current state as it pertains to using an electronic device to perpetrate malicious communication. I tend to allude to my experience when I was in media. I recall about 5 days or so before the 2016 general election, when I was pretty much influential in the social media space in breaking news. 5 days before the election, I walked to dozens of messages demanding that I give attention to this allegation that a prominent member of the Jamaica Labour Party had familial connections to a drug dealer, and I was being badgered to put it into the public domain. Screenshots were all over the place. And when we conducted our checks, it was patently clear. I understand why I don't want to hear this. It was patently clear that the allegations being put forward by bloggers connected to the opposition party at the time, the PNP, was patently false. And even when it was entered into the traditional media space that the allegations are false, the bloggers intensified the promulgation and advancement of the lie. I genuinely believe that the Cyber Crimes Act may be used to forbid that sort of activity. Another example, only a few days ago, the matter of the King and Julian Silvera. A matter I can't allude to because it's no longer sub judice. Yes. And anytime that case came up for mention in the court, there was a visible, coordinated dissemination of information. Allegations by PNP bloggers speaking about the deceased. We just said don't publish people thing. That's a domestic thing. Yeah, I understand why you are uncomfortable, Senator Brown. But I will make my point. Yes, I'll make my point. You're upset about it. I'm not upset about it. But I'm upset about the matter of
Senator Brown, allow the speaker to continue, please. Senator Fitzhenley, do not be distracted.
Yes, I understand why you are upset about it. Yes. The matter of Silvera, sir. Anytime the matter came up for mention in the court, a number of bloggers connected to the opposition party sought to enter into the public domain false allegations speaking about the land title of the deceased and attempting to connect a member of the government to that matter. Totally wild and false allegations. And I, in fact, heard a member of the opposition currently on their benches, who is pretty vocal now, make a sort of voce comment when the matter of Silvera came up, seeking to connect a member of the administration to it. Absolutely false. Nothing of the sort. But again, this represents a habit of some political bloggers who seek to tell lies and diminish, hurt, and damage the reputation of honest and hard-working Jamaicans on the altar of political expedience. I strongly believe the Cyber Crimes Act may be made more fit for purpose to hold to account people who use social media in such a vicious and disgraceful manner. And I tell you what, to make matters worse, what disappoints me, I see senior members of the opposition, including members of the leadership, associating and recommending for national awards some of the chief purveyors of these toxic lies. I think that's a disgrace, and I strongly Cyber Crimes Act should be amended to hold people who use social media in this manner, in an accountable manner, to hold them to account. And Senator Brown made mention of the name. He said he found it very odd that the name Dr. Andrew Michael Holness has not been entered into the debate. So there you go, I give you a wish. Perhaps the most victimized person by individuals, these political bloggers who tell lies using social media, is the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Holness. But you know what gives me confidence, sir? That despite the wicked, the perverse, and the disgusting use of social media by political bloggers connected to the PNP, the people of Jamaica are perceptive. And indeed, they are able to make a distinction between what is true and what is false. And I strongly believe that that perceptiveness was most highlighted on the 26th of February 2016 and the 3rd of September 2020 and 2025, when the people of Jamaica rejected the lies of the opposition and voted for truth and an administration that is prepared to move Jamaica forward. The Cyber Crimes Amendment Act 2026 has my strong support. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Henley. Senator Scott Motley.